Hi everybody, welcome once again, and in today's video I will explain you the profit maximizing level of output in short run for a perfectly competitive firm. Here we have the quantity and corresponding total revenue, price multiplied by quantity, total cost, profit, which is the difference between total revenue and total cost, marginal revenue, change in total revenue, when an additional unit of output is sold, and then we have our marginal cost. As we know that a firm under perfect competition is a price taker firm and the price remains constant. So here we have assumed that per unit price is $6 and the total revenue increases at a constant rate. Here we have our marginal revenue, which shows change in total revenue, again 6, and here we have our marginal cost, profit. Here are the conditions for profit maximization. The first condition is marginal cost is equal to marginal revenue. Here we have our diagram. This horizontal line represents price line equal to average revenue and marginal revenue. This is our average total cost curve, and then we have our marginal cost curve, which cuts average total cost at its minimum point. So according to the condition, marginal cost is equal to marginal revenue. At this point, this represents profit maximizing level of output for the competitive firm. If the firm produces an output which is less than this output level, let's say the firm produces Q1 output. So here the marginal revenue is greater than marginal cost. So obviously it will pay for the firm to produce more. The profits will be maximized if the firm further increases its production till this point, Q maximum. Similarly, if the firm wants to produce more than this level of output, let's say the firm wants to produce Q3 level of output. Now here marginal cost is greater than marginal revenue, or we can say that the addition to cost will be greater than the addition to revenue. So it will pay for the firm to cut down its production, to cut down its output from Q3 to Q maximum. So the first condition is that the marginal cost should be equal to marginal revenue, but this is not the only condition, not the sufficient condition. The second condition is that marginal cost must be rising at the point of its intersection with the marginal revenue curve. Now, if you look at this diagram, even at this point, let's say at point E1, marginal cost and marginal revenue are equal to each other. The first condition is satisfied, but then again, if the firm expands its output, the firm starts producing more, the addition to revenue is greater than the addition to cost. So obviously, it pays the firm to expand its output. Then, if the firm tries to increase its output beyond this level to maximum quantity that we have shown here, then the addition to cost will be more than the addition to revenue. So obviously it will not be profitable for the firm to further increase its output after reaching this point Q maximum, and the equilibrium of the firm will be established at point E2. As we know that profit is the difference between total revenue and total cost. We can also write it like this. This portion represents average revenue and this portion represents average total cost multiplied by quantity. So we can say, and we know that average revenue is price. So profit is price minus average total cost multiplied by quantity. So now we'll shade a portion here to represent the profit earned by this firm. Here, as you can see, that this is the average total cost. And here we have this rectangle which represents the total profits which is earned by this firm. This portion represents profit, revenue minus cost. This rectangular area represents the profits earned by this firm. The area of the rectangle is basically the height multiplied by the width of the rectangle. So this portion, price minus average total cost, this represents the height of the rectangle, and this quantity basically represents the width of the rectangle. So if we multiply this with the quantity, we'll get our overall profit. So this rectangular portion represents the profits earned by this competitive firm, profit maximizing competitive firm in this case, price minus average total cost multiplied by quantity. Now if we look here at fifth unit of output, marginal revenue and marginal cost are equal to each other, and profits are maximized at fifth unit. And the second condition, that marginal cost must be rising, is also satisfied here, rising marginal cost. So both the conditions are satisfied at fifth unit of output. The fact that the firm is in short-run equilibrium does not necessarily mean that it is earning excess profits. The firm may incur loss. Now in this case, the firm is incurring loss, reason being the average total cost is greater than the price, and as we know, as we can see here, that the area of this rectangle represents loss incurred by this firm, and we can represent this loss here as the height of the rectangle, represented by average total cost minus price, since average total cost is greater than the price, multiplied by quantity. So this shaded portion represents the loss.